We
know,
are so happy to welcome you here, sir.
yeah, thank you to the organizers for putting this together. And thank you everyone for being here. I can see a number of familiar faces, including alumni. My classmates are here, my juniors are here, and this is an opportunity that I wish I had when I was in medical school. So you've given me a very good introduction. It's always a difficult thing because when we're in medical school that year, if you want to write your oral exams and you see the way people are you know that you are in trouble now because you are going to be ranked, against the performance of that person. I would say that Carimetry has done a lot of justice to, sort of opening our eyes to what the USMLE is and the MASH, process is all about. So let me just add one or two things to it. Let me tell you my own story. My story started, they will say that just like the diagnosis of prostatic cancer in most people, it was serendipitously. It started, why not meaning it? We're not looking to get it. We just got it, like I would say, serendipitously. After part 3 MD, we were going to clinical one, and I think it was after our mobile anatomy viva. And myself and a couple of friends, Babawali Emmanuel, we call him Bars. He's a very great guy. We started discussing about career prospects. I didn't have so much ideas, but he seems to have more ideas than us, and he was telling us about pathways, the UK, the US, about the step one and all. In preclinical years, when we're doing physiology, some lecturers will give us some questions that we found very difficult. And we'll be like, some people will say, oh, this is USMLE standard questions. And what is this exam? And I said, okay, I will make sure that I write this exam. I will write this exam because I was just like, this exam must be giving us a lot of problems, in our end courses, and I'll make sure I study and write it. So that was where it started from. So after that Viva that day, just in front of HSLTC, I can remember we started discussing career prospects. And we talked about the UK. My friends chipped in that, okay, when you go to the UK, you do GP jobs. I don't know whether things have changed now, that it's more difficult to go into specialty trainings. But if you go to the US, you can, reach the peak of your career, which I know now with more information that you can also reach the peak of your career if you go to the UK. You understand? So, but then that was the information we had. It might just be more clumsy and more lengthy. So from then, we started looking for what to do. We thought what we could do, which we did when we were in medical school. We got big textbooks, we read them, stimulated ourselves. Although we did a lot of things that didn't really contribute so much, but it actually contributed because it kept us motivated. Because at that time, I was holding their hands to. So we will gather in front of Gloryland, we'll discuss stuff, sometimes what they were doing, we could do it. It's not good to disturb your friends when they are sleeping. We knew we could motivate ourselves to just keep ourselves on track. And we kept doing this. We didn't have enough money. Oh, my friend is there, Baba Ali. So I can see his reaction. So So yeah, we would move stuff till 12 a.m., 1 a.m. From 6 p.m. we can go to 1 a.m. If you leave me and my friends, we can. In fact, I don't think anything stimulates us more than just talking about patients, talking about medicine and patient care. So we didn't have money then, we didn't have a lot of information, but we had textbooks that, and we had, videos like the residents who would tell us about the healthcare system in the US and all. So that was what we had. That was the only thing we had, the only window we had to know about to family, talking to whoever could help, and we felt that okay, the first thing we could do was to pay the $160 ECFME certification, which we did. After we paid the $160 ECFME certification, we went to house job. House job was busy. House job is busy and crazy. You will be in some units that you may not have time even for yourself. You may even need to take permission to eat, let alone read care. But what we were doing was that we were just utilizing the little time we had to just study. What I did during house job was that I knew there were days that I would not be able to read anything. So I didn't crucify myself for not reading on those days. But on days that after excluding sleep, for example, if I have the Saturday off, I exclude sleep. It takes 6 to 8 hours of sleep. The remaining hours, if you read for about 60% of it, you can read for 8 hours to 10 hours that day. That was what I did in house job, and we did some, some discontinuous reading. Yeah, it was not continuous. It was not contiguous, just discontinuous. But those things were storing somewhere, such that when we finished house job, 3 months after house job, we were able to I was able to write my exam 3 months after house job. I prepared 3 months. In fact, I finished house job in November. I prepared December. January, I went for NYSC camp. Spent 3 weeks there. At that time, I had already booked my step one, but because the practice scores were already okay for me to scale through. So once you are practice exam we call MEME exams that will predict you where you are likely to fall in the exam. So one of those MEME exams, some of them that I took predicted me, well. So predicted me that I was going to, discuss I was getting similar to what I got before the camp. So at that time, that was the end of January, and my exam was in March. So by March 3rd or so, or March 2nd, I wrote my exam, came out well, and my friend who were going together also wrote his exam late March, came out well. Towards the end of house job, like we said, I spoke with Muritala, who Karimetri, who just spoke with you now, just telling you the importance of community. And that time he was gathering materials too, and he started his own journey too. A few months after we passed our exam, he wrote his own exam and passed. I was posted to the Nigerian Air Force barracks as one of the only two doctors mentioned the fact that a pregnant woman can come and wake you at night that they're having, an unusual contraction, or someone can bring a 2-year-old, who has an upper respiratory tract infection to you by 3 a.m. and there's no so at that time, we're now looking at the match. Let me tell you, running on YSC. So one thing in life is that whatever your with the USMLE, whatever your situation is, use it to your own advantage. You will not always have a perfect CV. You will not always have a perfect application. When you have anything you want to do in life, you will not always. Some people will, but those people are very few. You will not always have a. Here's where it started. Something like that. I was in London, where you do research, and I learned principles of research, linked with friends, and we're doing research at that time. I did my answers, but I was learning too. So when I finished, now, like everybody, the question that everybody has in their mind now is not if they can dedicate their time to read for this exam. Is it available for me for an average Nigerian? An average Nigerian it's an expensive exam, but it's doable. The good thing is that you don't have to put the money up front. You don't have to deposit anything laptop. From $150 here, $150 $200 here, $200 you can actually use it. So I was facing the challenge of applying by September when I was in me. And I had financial challenges at that time, and I know I don't give a cup of it. So what I did, I see jobs, money change somewhere. So that time, application went down, the application didn't come in. That's where you're taking us. I know there's a triumph for me there. For a man who progresses 1 or 2 distance, for a man who prepares for them with patience. So the USMLE is a long journey. Don't look at it with the eyes of, okay, we need to get this thing done in 6 months now. If you are someone who wants to get something done early, you need to prepare your mind that, okay, this is a long journey. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you can prepare for the USMLE. It's a long journey. You don't have to have everything sorted out this year or next year. You don't have the finances now. Do your $160 CFME certification now. You don't know what your financial situation may be next year. So just take it as a long journey. So when it was time for the March season, I applied. And for some people who may not know
Yeah, no,
the
please mute your mic. Okay.
for some people who will not be familiar with the Erasmus platform, the Erasmus platform is where we apply. and then you put in all your research, all your volunteering, you put in your medical school, a performance evaluation. All these things that I'm mentioning, they are very important. So what is the USMLE package? The USMLE package for someone who, if you don't want to do too much, you are just going to want to do the barest minimum, certified. So for step one, it costs about $1,330. For step two, it costs similar, almost the same. For your OET will cost you around $400 or 600,000 naira. To become ECFME certified, you will spend $925 after you have passed all your exams, excluding the cost of going to write your exams. So that one will be around $4,000, $5,000 at that time. So to pass your exams and get ECFME certified, not adding other extra costs of materials, U-Word, and all those things. Then to apply to 100 programs will cost you about $2,400. So yeah, so that is the financial implication of it. But you can spread this over 3 years. You know that we applied for the match in 2024, we started prepping in 2021. So you can spread these costs over 3 years, over 4 years, over 5 years. You can write your step one and go and do something else. If you are more financially buoyant, you can write your step two. Just take it. One package includes the step one, like I said, step two, OET. You should your medical school performance evaluation from IFE. You are going to send your transcript from IFE. Your school there is a way they do this. They send it to ECFMG. ECFMG has a way of sending it to that platform. Okay, that's two. You enter your experiences. Experiences include clinical experiences and non-clinical experiences. Clinical experiences include your rotations. For those of you who are buoyant enough to go outside the country to, if you can go to the US at that time, if you have your visa, please go and do it. It's the most, it's the best form of clinical rotation you can tender in the US if you're applying for residency. We call it clerkship in your final year. If you can't do that, there is no problem. Like I said, you will not always, have everything figured out. You will not always have everything you need. There are always alternatives. Another thing, okay, under non-clinical experiences, we have volunteering experiences, research experiences, and others. So volunteering experiences, what Amarashi is doing now, what Tosin is doing now, what all of you here are doing now, you are actually, doing a lot to help the community. We call it community development service. You are helping the community. The residency program directors want to know that you are not just someone who loves yourself alone, that you are someone who is altruistic, someone who loves to help the community, someone who doesn't want to grow alone, someone who isn't happy until other people are winning. So they love those people. They don't just look at your grades, they look at the full package, what you bring to the table. So do a lot of volunteering if you can, join IR, join FUNSA Quiz Club. But the volunteering that really touch people are volunteering that you do with the background of altruism, just helping people, become better, because that's what we do as physicians. As physicians, what we do is we help our patients get better. We go out of our way to help them become a better version of themselves and improve their quality of life. So, yeah. So non-clinical experiences, important. Research experiences also important. If you can lay your hands on research as early as possible in your career, please do. I'll tell you how this play out. Okay, under clinical, for me, this is my package. Step one, step two done, OET done, ECFMD certificate, ECFMD certified. Clinical experiences, I have only Nigerian experiences, no US experiences because, I hadn't been there. So usually this is a disadvantage. But for every disadvantage in the USMLE application process, you can also always compensate with another advantage. So I already knew that to go to the US, because that's why you will find out that some people will say the cost of USMLE is about 15 to 20,000 US dollars. That's correct. If you want to go through everything that the Indian the Pakistanis sort of, while searching for houses is around $850 per month. A one-room, self-contained. If you are going to bronze, if you are going to spend more, I've seen more than 2,000 US dollars per month. Imagine you are spending 3 months doing a rotation in the US, in New York. That's why the cost of the USMLE may skyrocket. If you check what some people have put together, it doesn't mean that one is wrong too. But for me, I decided that I wasn't going to go through all those ones because I had to prioritize the finances that was available. So what I did was I compensated for this by doing a lot of research to just sort of show my commitment to academic learning. My commitment to so now, as a medical student, make sure that you are someone that can be remembered. You don't have to be remembered for lots of stuff. Be remembered for being a good guy. Be remembered for being a dependable person. That is more important than stuff. I'm sorry to say, it's more important than stuff because you will get to a certain level that almost everybody will be stuffy. Imagine if you gather, 20 cardiovascular physicians, all of them have stuff in cardiovascular medicine, but not all of them are good people. Not all of them are, dependable people. What you know now that you think is tough, you look back at it in 5 years, you will laugh that you knew nothing. It's just like me and my party self talking now. I will laugh at that guy who thinks he knows a little. Do you understand? So knowledge can be learned. Knowledge can be learned. But try to be a good person so that when you are requesting for letters of recommendation from your tutors, from your professors, they are going to respond well to you. For some people, no matter what you do, they don't write great letters of recommendation for people. Identify them. When you give your sinology to someone after a great presentation and the person gives you 2/5, when you're applying for the mark, don't go and collect letter of recommendation from that person. And people who appreciate little things, who treat you well as students, identify your research date, and I see that you are doing research in so area. Please, I would love to be your research assistant. This can, they will hold your hands, they will take you places. These people you see in Nigeria, they are not small people. They have a lot of great value to helping you transition to the next phase of your career. Okay, so that's it's very important for you to know that who are in your area of interest, and make sure that they remember you. Also, you don't need to have your career figured out now. You don't need to know now that okay, I want to be my friend. My clique. We had a clique in school that we studied together and all. we wanted to be neurosurgeons at some point, but now we want to be cardiologists. I know my other guy wants to be cardiologist too. So things change, life change. I remember at some point I was sick, and my greatest fear was that, Omo, if I recover, will I be strong enough to stand for 12 hours to do neurosurgical procedure? That was my greatest fear. I didn't know now that I will, be venturing into something different. So you don't always know what you will become. Your interest may change based on your understanding. People don't like internal medicine in Nigeria because they feel like internal medicine, you don't do much. But if you've been to places where GIT is like gold, if you have seen GIT fellows or GIT consultants, attendings in places where things work, they do a lot of, you would think they are surgeons. Because what the general surgery people do in Ife, all those ARCP, is all those endoscopic procedures, they are GIT. GIT is like, to get into GIT in the US is tough, and it's a money-making machine. You do endoscopic procedures, and imagine being an interventional cardiologist. You do a lot of interventional procedures, you work with your hands. You don't have to stay somewhere moving stuff to someone dies. It's not always like that in internal medicine. It's just because we are resource limited. So, because if you now get to a place where you know that you can work with your hands, your interest may change. So don't be streamlined. Walk up to anyone who you like and say, okay, I want to be your research assistant. When you're applying for residency, what matters is your research idea. Because you thought, say, you don't graduate for Nigeria to Igbo after your medical school, you are still a student. I was talking to the president of the AMC, Dr. Mumaforuko Bonlashiri. So there was an issue that I required his intervention, and it was just grace. If not, I wouldn't be here. I made a little error, and I had to speak to the president. I didn't know I could get through to this person, and that is the importance of optimizing your LinkedIn, because once I sent my message, they'll first go and look at your LinkedIn. If your LinkedIn doesn't speak well of you, you'll just be like, this is an unserious person. This is someone that is beyond my beats. This is one of the top guys in academic medicine in the world, not even in the US. He's the head of US medical education, and was able to interfere in the issue and help out. So optimize your LinkedIn, so that when you are pitching to people, they are able to help you. Also, when I was writing my and people, there were services, writing services, let write for you. Where is the money? So I wrote myself. So I got a professor from Yale who is a Nigerian, help me proofread it by also reaching out on LinkedIn. Now, let me tell you how to reach out to people on LinkedIn. You don't reach out to people the first time you need something. You prime them for the time of need. Now, if I see someone that I like on LinkedIn, I first go to their profile, I hail them. People like talking about themselves. There's nobody you will hail. If you hail someone, the person head will swear now. So tell them that, oh, I went to your profile, sir. You have a very nice profile, and I see myself following your footstep. And just tell them that I love this research you did, I love these patients you treated, I love this portfolio you have, and I would love to follow in your footsteps. Most of them will reply. Some of them will reply, some will not reply. For those ones that reply, after a few months, check up on them again and ask how work is going and all those things. Prime them for the time you need them, so that once you need help, you can go to them. So the person that helped me proofread the professor of medicine at Yale, and I've been priming the person for 6 months, 7 months. So telling the person how interested I'm in cardiology, interventional cardiology, and all those things. Do you understand? So before I now said, okay, please help me. If you are Mexican, if you want someone to mentor you, you don't need to go to the person that, oh, I want you to mentor me straightforward. There are ways to tell people to indirectly mentor you without mentioning the word. Tell them a particular problem that you have that they can help you solve. By doing so, they are indirectly mentoring you. And before you know it, they know you by name. Do you get? Before you know it, they know you by name, and someone who already knows you by name, who is putting you through, who is the person to you? The person is your mentor. It doesn't have to be like, okay, you are writing an application. Dear Professor J.J. Okosha, I love the way you dribble on the pitch, and I want you to mentor me in JB. J.J. Okosha is busy playing for Bolton Wanderers and the Super Eagles. J.J. Okosha will tell you he's busy. Even me now, I know what it means for someone to be busy. I used to think I was busy, but that's life for you. So, but tell JJ Okosha that I have this light. First, tell JJ Okosha, I love your dribbling. JJ Okosha's head will swell up. Then, after 2 months, tell JJ Okosha, there was this guy I wanted to dribble, but I could not dribble him. He will tell you, so this small dribbling, you don't even know, this is how to do it. He's already mentoring you how to dribble. By so doing, you get your things done. So that's how to get help during the application process, even before it. That's that about that. I've talked about finances. Finances will not always be easy, but make sure that you take it as a long-term journey. Then anxiety, there's always anxiety. Can I do this? When I was starting out that time, there was always this anxiety, between me and my guys. I will be able to do this? Is it possible? Is it achievable? Because it doesn't look like the goal is smart. They'll tell you set smart goals. Smart goal at that time is writing your club and getting out. That is a smart guy. So we're going through this route that now there is more knowledge about it, but then if you tell your guy who has already subscribed to Plabable that you want to write step one, the guy will check out of the conversation now. You'll be the only one talking to yourself. So there was a lot of anxiety. Can we do it? I want to tell you it's doable. Anybody can match, sincerely. But you just need to know what your issue is. You need to know what your limitations are. You are going to go to the match with some limitations. Mine was that I had never been to the US. I don't have US clinical experience, but I made sure that I did other things, got good letters of recommendation, did research, volunteered, did publications and all. And now, there are things that I would like to address. Number one is, once you finish medical school in Nigeria, what should you do if you have not matched? Should you go do house job? Yes, do house job if you can. If you are not ready to put in your application at that time, do NYSC. No clinical experience you have goes to waste, because they will ask you, oh, I see that you did 1 year internship, and that is your time to shine now. They've given you a true ball. You need to score the goal now. Now tell the interviewer that, we did a 1 year internship, which is almost synonymous to the PGY1 level in the United States, because even here, we get to rotate different units, which sort of try consolidate our knowledge of that we got in medical school, and it gives us a hands-on experience in patient care, making decisions, being the most junior part of the team gives us an opportunity to be the first line of contact for patients, where we are saddled with the responsibility of taking admissions, documenting patient progress, discharging patient, writing discharge summaries. Now we also get to learn, procedural skills such as, intravenous cannulation, ECG, electrocardiography and reporting. And sometimes I've assisted, I've been in the room while cardiologists do echo a few times. They'll be like, hey, because they think those things are for residents there. they'll be excited to know that you are exposed into, because they want to bring in competent people into their program. So if you can do NYSC, if you can do house job, do. Then NYSC, if it's not in your line of stuff, you may not do. But if you are doing NYSC now, don't blame yourself for not doing. It can also help you. See how NYSC helped me. I was fortunate to do NYSC with the Nigerian Air Force, so I put it there as a volunteering service, because it's a service that you are paid peanuts. You earn less than you earn as an house job, as an intern. So I put it there as a volunteering program where I was saddled with the responsibility of providing care for veterans and of the Nigerian Air Force, and even active soldiers and their family and the surrounding community. And some of them will be like, "Oh, I can see that you work with the Nigerian Air Force. Were you a soldier at any point?" I go, no. It was just a community service, a mandatory service that every graduate from my country will, participated in. And I was privileged to live in the barracks, to experience the military way of life. You would say it smiling. You'll be like, "Wow, that's a rich experience for you." You will now go that, okay, seeing soldiers who work, who work a lot in the forefront, helping the community, seeing their family members sick at home is something that makes you very, very unhappy. And that was what stimulated your passion for helping them, and sort of protecting their families while they are protecting the nation. There's no way you say something like this and any interviewer will not, they'll be like, "This guy knows what he's saying now." So that is how to utilize. I told you when I was serving there, we're doing shift back to back, but you had to use it. I had to use it for my own advantage. So whatever situation you find yourself, use it as an advantage. You don't have money, plan it as a long journey. People match at 40, it doesn't mean anything. People match as professors, it doesn't change anything. What changes is the fact that professorship that the person has will not be taken away. But what the only thing that will be taken away is the 500k, 600k that the person is earning, and something else will be given to the person. Some people will be like, "Is the person going to start again?" What do you mean by start again? The level the person has achieved, where the person stopped, will not be taken from the person. That's still part of your CV. The only thing that will be taken away from you is 600k per month salary, and something else will be, or patients money after you in the ARE. There was a time that I didn't know my registrar could run. My registrar was a female registrar in Indonesia. They admitted more courses, and other courses came into the ER. I just removed the word with me. I was wearing what people were warning me. Stop wearing what as a pediatrician, a young pediatrician who is passionate about delivering patient-centered care to my patients. I was wearing, and they knew what would happen, because cases like that are common in Indonesia. Only for these people to enter with cutlass and all. I didn't know my female registrar would run like that. I did not at any point catch up with this lady. She was gone. It was that day I knew, no, ladies can run when they want to. So that's just it. So if you feel that your stuff level is not enough, that is what some people think. Yeah, your stuff level is not enough, and that is, yes, it's not enough. That is why you need to read. If it's enough, we will tell you to go and write the exam now. So your stuff level is not enough. Yes, you are not. You don't think you are stuffy enough, acceptable. Go and read. If you read, you will get the stuff. Prepare, you will pass the exam. Just that if your stress level was high as a student, it will take you lesser time to prepare. But as someone whose stuff level is not that high, you need to fill a lot of gaps before you will now be at the level of that guy that whose stuff level was high. Then you will now start from there. Do you understand? So If stuff is your problem, anybody can match, work on it. Just first develop yourself. I knew a senior that time who said, no, I know that my stuff level is not good enough. I will take a year to first balance the stuff level. Your stuff level is not high, it's not that person that you now see my I want to book my exam in 4 months. So, and you not bought your first aid and you what? I beg. First, work realistically. Do you understand? So I've talked about finances, I've talked about stuff. Yeah, I will tell you about the importance of having good people around you. You know, is we can't I can't emphasize it enough. You need to surround yourself with people of like minds. Do you understand? No matter how born you are, if the people that surround you are people who don't share in your goals, there is a high probability that you may lose track of whatever you want to do at some point. Do you understand? So, in terms of if you think the US is for you, have a group of people who you are looking at together, so that when you are down, they will do for you. My friend was telling how job that I was in Ife. I remember there were my times that we call ourselves to complain. It was something at that time, and I was in, and that's something you need to Ife. So something you were very, very busy, on their own end. Something was busy on my own end. We call ourselves and complain because we are not ready for the days, but we are not used to it. For someone who were there every day for years, there was a time I looked at myself, I had read every day for like 3 years non-stop, including Christmas and New Year. I when I was in school that time. So for someone who read every day like that, now start out job and not read for a week, I was like, no, this is serious. So but at that time, I will call my friends who just sort of motivate ourselves, so sort of just who just sort of complain, he will motivate me, I will motivate him. At the end of the call, we'll feel better. So you need people like that. We call it empowerment circle. Empowerment circle. So when this person is weak, you drag them up, such that at the end of the journey, all of you are there. Okay, so when the match came, God did it, and we are here today to discuss it. And I'm sure that what we have in Ife, we have a lot of intellectual people. I know that we don't really have so much information about these things. I'm sure that with the right information, we are going to do better. We are going to see more people matching because we are made for great things, and there is nothing that can stop us. No US exam, no interviewer, no career, no financial difficulty. Like I said, there is no journey that is too long for a man who advances deliberately and without undue waste. And there is no honor too distant for a man who prepares for them with patience. Thank you. It's been an honor talking to you, and I would love to keep in touch with whoever will be willing to. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate this session. It was such an insightful session. We learned a lot, and I believe my colleagues also learned a lot. So, do we have anyone with question? Do you have question as regards what you have talked about? Please, you can do well to drop them now. You can do well to drop them now. Okay, okay, I can see some people raising up their hands. Okay, please keep on indicating if you have a question.
Yeah, so while
All
we
right.
are
Oh,
waiting for people to indicate if they have questions, as our
okay.
chief has said, your stuff level is not enough. Go and read.
Aha, yeah. If your stuff
Thank
level
you
is not
so
enough,
much. Go and read.
seriously, I like go and read though. And
Thank you so
seriously,
much,
in as much as you can
Jawetz.
read, you can acquire that stuff. I was like, when I heard you said you read 3 years non-stop, that means that tenacity has been there, because the goal must be achieved. And here we are now, as a matched US resident doctor. That's to tell us that we have to sit up, we have to put in our best. Enough of all these. Yes, I want to march into US residency, and you are not ready to do anything. We've learned how that he volunteered in so many things. He engaged himself. He was resourceful and industrious at the same time. So please, let's put all what we've learned to action. Because personally, I've started taking note of some things that, okay, okay, maybe once I get here, this is what I will do. All of us, we have to go back to our drawing board and put in the plans. And I pray that the Lord will help us in Jesus' name. So, do we have question? Okay, I think some people are in the comment section.
Okay. Please.
Question
There's someone
is,
whose hands is raised. There's
okay, is
Oshodin
someone talking?
Abieyua.
Yeah. That is your
Yes, there's someone whose hands
Okay,
is
okay,
raised.
that is your big chief.
Yes.
Oh.
Hi,
okay. Someone has.
thank you
Okay,
very
you can
much.
come up.
All right, thank
That
you.
is
Can
your
you hear
that is
me?
your chief. Oh.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jawetz, like for sharing your
Yeah.
story. It was very exhaustive, and I learned a lot. So there was something you said about how everyone's application will not be perfect, but you can always, use your strengths and what you have to your advantages.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much. That like, I've learned, and I knew that before, but you kind of consolidated it a lot. So thank you for that. Then
Okay.
um, I'm going to ask about networking.
All right.
A lot of people say a lot of things about networking, like very important, and then you were also giving us something about how it works. So I want to ask,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Networking.
want to ask about your personal journey, about
Okay.
your interviews. Do you think like it influenced, the amount of interviews you got? Do you think that the
I
interviews you
think
got like were linked to the um networking that you did? Like, do you know anyone, like any residents in
no.
programs?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So yeah,
Thank you.
I think I think your network is not very very clear, but I got you. So why networking may not give you everything you want in terms of interview. For me, I didn't have a lot of time to network. Immediately after my step 2 days after I started working, you will get. So I didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of networking. I was late to that part. But what I did, the kind of network, like the networking to ask someone to recommend you to program. Sometimes the program director, if the person does well, may interview you. For example, if someone has been doing well in a program and that person may impress the program director such that the program director will be like, which medical school did you go to? I went to Ife. So if that person recommends you that, oh, one of my juniors from my medical school is doing very well, has applied to our program, the program director talk to people who are matched. And that may help you a lot because sometimes you might have highlighted something that is not supposed to be. For example, when I was writing my statement of purpose, one of the things that the professor from Yale told me was that I should remove my research accompaniment from my statement of purpose. It looked somehow before because this is one of the few things that I want to use to at least shine now. Someone is saying you should remove it. What kind of a thing is this? I went to sleep unhappy. that because that stuff came in at night, that I remove it. And truly, when after we have submitted the RCB, I was now talking to someone who said the major goal of residency is clinical training. The academic training, the why the research strengthens your application. It should not be the focus of your application. It should strengthen those clinical traits because they are going to what will determine whether you excel in your residency program is your clinical skills and your interpersonal skills. The way you are able to relate with your patient, you know, the ACGMA has about um, six requirements that every physician, every resident must meet. So most of them are clinical and interpersonal. Do you understand? If you start putting a lot of research as they will be like this person wants to come and do research. So if this person comes to our program now and we don't give him 10 publications in a year, this guy will not be happy. So they will choose someone else who is more interested in treating patients. So but if they see that you're interested in treating patients and you are also interested in academics, they'll be like, oh, this guy is the full package. Do you understand? So you meet with people. How you can do it is once you start, there is something that let's say there's something that we call FREIDA, FREIDA. You can search programs there. Eh? There is Residency Explorer. Those two are free. But there is Match a Resident that you can use. Match a Resident is paid. Do you understand? You need to pay for that. But for FREIDA, you can check programs. You will see programs. Then from the programs page, you can see the program residents there. They will put their pictures. So look at people who look like you, Nigerians, Africans, and from their name you can check them on LinkedIn and message them. That is how to get to know people. Do you understand? So check program websites, check their residents, check those ones that are Nigerians, those ones that are Africans, message and tell them that oh, you're applying to do this, you're applying in so yeah. You want them to help you, guide you in the process. Do you understand? Like I said, use that primary. Initially, just tell them you love their journey, appreciate them. Everybody loves it when you know them. Do you understand? So and then pitch something to them. Let them help you fulfill your statement of purpose, your letters of recommendation, no, sorry, your CV, and if they can recommend you to their program, let them do that. So how you get to meet people for networking is, the way you know me now, I may know a friend who you can tell that, oh, let me tell your friend to recommend me to their program. Do you understand? So that is networking. It helps a lot, you know. And for me, I would say that most of my interviews were organic interviews, but they were enough for me. At least they were enough for me. At about 8 interviews, you have about 80% chance of matching. So if nothing goes wrong, at around 9, 10, your chance of matching increases to about 90%. And there is really no much increase with higher interview number. There is slight increase, but it goes to a plateau around 12, 13. Do you get? So just just telling people you don't know what will actually work, but networking is one proven um, stuff that helps people. Yeah, okay. I think we can move away from.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
have a
welcome.
second question, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Please, what do you think is the minimum amount of programs that one should apply to, like residency programs?
Yeah, if you are an IMG, aim for 100. Yeah, if you can't apply to 100, well, there is no problem. But aim to apply to 100 programs. Applying to 100 programs will save you a lot of wahala. Do you get? Because the more you apply to programs, the more your chance of getting interviews. Because some people will now apply to more programs when they see that their interview numbers are not as much as they want it to be. Do you get? So it's better to apply to 100 initially so that your chances are just the first time give it your best.
Thank you very much.
Some people apply to 250 or
Ah,
200. I know people apply to 300. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jared.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, Odes Sonia, you have a question? Sonia, am I right with that name?
Sorry, that was a mistake. I have no question.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, do we have anyone with question? Do we still have people with question?
Are there questions on the chat box?
Okay, okay, Esther, Esther Differenti. Are you there with us?
Yes, thank you.
Uh, uh,
All right. Yeah, please, I just want to ask that, there's a way like we're expected to study in school. Okay, okay, like you just like read your slides and pass, like na person wey pass go later become doctor. So I just want to know
sorry, we
I,
cannot hear you. Okay.
I don't know if it's my network. I
Yeah,
couldn't hear you well.
sorry about that. I think it's from her end. So
Okay,
she sent me her questions, and I'm just
all
going to
right.
go ahead and ask her
Okay,
questions.
good.
All right.
Good.
So she asked that, is there a specific way for people who want to write in school? Like, is there a specific way to start reading? Because like one of the things that we keep
Okay,
getting told is, shall read and pass, or list stuff. Like, just
yeah.
read and pass. Just make sure you pass. If you like,
Okay,
go and read stuff and go and read textbook.
yeah.
Don't read your
Yeah,
lecturer's
common
material.
common things that occur commonly type of reading.
Yeah, so like they're like,
Sure
go
you
just
get.
stick to your
Yeah.
material, solve past questions,
So
be fine
now,
and all. So she,
now
yes.
the common thing occur commonly. I'm not a fan of common thing occur commonly type of reading. I would not want to mislead you because go too far. If your goal is to be at the top of your what do you call it, of your maybe in course or something, you may have to follow some common thing occur commonly. While because if you want to write in medical school, you will need to read USMLE styled content, which are not common thing occur commonly with. You don't understand now because there are some things that you will not be expected to know in it better. Even if you know it, it may even it may even be a disadvantage to you when you start mentioning and someone tells you, have you seen any patient with this condition before? How many have you seen? For someone who doesn't know it, they are not going to mention it to word round, so they are not going to be in trouble. For you who know it, you are going to mention it and someone will tell you how many of them have you seen. But how to do it is strike a balance. Try to strike a balance. Yeah. So someone has whether I did my step 1 and 2 both in Ghana. Yeah.
Okay, so for this step one and two, you can write them both in Ghana. Because I think
Yeah.
someone said there's a particular step you have to write in the US. Is that step?
Yeah. You can only write step 3 in the United States. I told you that I had some stuff, I had some disadvantages. Not writing step 3 is one of it. Because if you write step 3, the program feels that you have written all the requirements, you have met all the requirements now. That you are coming, okay, I'll answer you, Dr. Omba. That you are coming there to come and work fully now because you are not going to read. But if you have books to read and you are on this 12-hour shift, your mind will not be there because you have book to read. So they like people who have step 3 more. But if you don't have step 3, but you are a fresh graduate, or if you don't have step 3, you have high scores, they will take you because they know that these fresh graduates will do well irrespective. The brain is still sharp, or this guy who has high scores will always pass step 3 now. So we'll take this guy. Do you get? So step 3 can So, yeah, someone asked why we don't do Guinea in Nigeria. Nigeria is a there is no center here, Sha. Come to my DM for explanation.
Yes, please. So we are on record.
Mark,
We are on record.
Mark.
Extra questions in the chat box. So I think like we can take those ones, and then we have extra questions that we kept aside. Like we opened a form and people sent in their
Okay.
questions. So I think Michael Tosin has those questions.
Yeah.
So I think we should just take every yeah and wrap up.
Yeah. I've checked through those questions. Maybe I will just pick some question that has not been addressed because virtually all those questions have been talked about. All right, let me quickly check through. Um, how does the USMLE system work? What are the key milestones? One, the other. Okay, someone asks, what is the best way to incorporate USMLE preparation into my medical school reading schedule?
Okay, I think we already talked about that now.
Yeah, I think we already
During
talked
breaks,
about.
during breaks, read your first aid.
Mm,
When early in the session, read your first aid and your medical school work. Late in the session, read your medical school work so that you can do focus reading and do well there too, so that you can be an encouragement to other people preparing for the exam.
so I also want to ask a question. Like all these Patoma, birds and beyond,
Yeah.
and other ones too. Are they also free resources for us to use?
Okay, for the purpose of this, can get the free copies. There are free Buzz and Beyond
Okay.
videos, free Patoma videos, but what and you would. But you can use Buzz and Beyond videos or Patoma videos to explain concepts that you don't understand. Or if you're a video guy,
Mm, mm,
you'll benefit a lot from those videos.
mm. All right, thank you, sir. Let me look for someone from a local what
Yes,
advice.
we have another question from
Okay.
Babatunde where he said that concerning the ECFMG 2024 rule that medical students should be accredited, medical schools should be accredited to USMLE. How does this affect us as students in
That
examination?
information, just relate to it as if it does not exist. Yeah? You know, to see a message on WhatsApp, I don't want the person to know that you delete for me. He doesn't have any inclination at all. He only has policy inclinations, policy meanings. He doesn't have any personal, meanings and implication for you. You understand? It's just the ECFMB will know program in to match. It does not affect your chances. It does not affect whether you'll be eligible to write any exam or not. Hmm?
Um, okay, sir. Someone asked a question. How IMG friendly is the field of hematology oncology, and
Yeah,
would you recommend it?
yeah. Hematology oncology is a subspecialty of internal medicine. Do you get? So now, this is
Yes,
what
sir.
you do. Once you do internal medicine residency, you can subspecialize into hemato-oncology, cardiology, gastroenterology, and pulmonary critical care and nephrology. Neurology is a separate specialty in the US. You have to enter residency as a neurology resident from year one. Okay, so if you want to go to hemato-oncology, it's one of the three most competitive subspecialty and GI.
Mm,
The third is hemato-oncology.
mm,
You're at this great level of disadvantage that you are when you're applying, as an IMD who wants to get into the US healthcare system. By that time, you're already in the US healthcare system. You can network with people physically. People
yes.
already know how you work, and they can talk to your dedication. They can talk to your intelligence. They can talk to your altruism. They can talk to your hard work and to your personality. So from there, once you enter residency, the sky is your limit.
No. Is it possible to match into a surgical residency without having US clinical observership or rotation experience? And also, sir, I think there was maybe last year, Ifrim sir did something about the I think this AMO experience or something that has to do with online rotationship, observership or something. That is this
Okay.
something that someone can also, like, though it's paid, but there's a discount for that.
All right.
So
So yeah, there's a saying in medicine, never say never. Because
mm,
someone who does not have a US clinical experience may know someone who knows someone. Like I said, some people are they don't have US clinical experience, they are in Nigeria, but they've met some top guys in the United States healthcare system, maybe in Kenya, in South Africa, during presentations. They may attend one world conference in Kenya where there is, do you get, where there is there was a time so
yes,
it
sir.
depends on the person. If you are someone who has contributed significantly to healthcare in the country where you are, you can match, into surgery. Do you understand? But you need to show that you are doing something. Another thing I didn't talk about is going to residency in Nigeria. Residency in Nigeria is also helpful for the match. If you are someone who is post NYSC, you want to match later in life, you get, but you are not at the advanced stage now. You are thinking, should I continue doing chronic MO or enter resident? Residency is busy in Nigeria, but even if it's family medicine residency, it will help you because they want to know whether you have this spirit of continuous learning. Because they'll be like, oh, you've graduated for so years. Have you done any training since you graduated? They want to employ someone with recent knowledge. Do you get? So people who have entered residency, they have more things to talk about if they are asked about further trainings they've done since leaving medical school. Okay. Okay, so like I said, you can't match into without US clinical experience, you can match into surgery. But you need to have done a lot of things, research, you need to at least have completed, maybe have been, you need to be have done a training in surgery somewhere else, not completed it, maybe a resident in your
All
own
right.
country.
All right, so thank you very much. While we are waiting for Tosin to join us, the next question I'd like to ask is that what's the time frame? Like, if you write step one, is there like a period where, like, a validity period where if you elapse that period and you've not written step two, then your step one result becomes invalid? Is there like an expiration date?
Yeah, there's a 7 year period that you need to write your step two after your step one. 7 year. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. That's all right. So, Tosin, we got to.
Okay, okay. Let me quickly check the next question. Sorry. Okay. And the person asked what types of research opportunity are accessible to international medical graduates, sir?
Okay, research opportunities accessible. Now, research opportunities are accessible in your consulting room. Once you go to posting every day, you meet research opportunities. Do you understand? Your
Yes, sir.
lecturers do a lot of research. And that's what I tell people when they say, okay, they want to venture into research. If you want to venture into research, what you first do is you first do a sort of internship. It doesn't have to be structured internship, but you need to collaborate with a seasoned researcher. So your lecturers do a lot of research, so you have research opportunities. Start from there. Then there are research opportunities online. So what you will do if you are interested in research is to meet one of your lecturers and tell them that, oh, I love and someone who is interested in research because I believe it's in line of my future career goals, and I will want to help out in whichever capacity I can in your next research project. Even if it's data collection, they will call you to come and distribute questions. And after that, they will start calling you to help them write some sections of their research. They can just call you to write introduction for them, or they can call you to help them look for references. By so doing, you are intern. Then to get to a point that they will tell you, oh, I have a research project, I have everything written, let me proofread it. You proofread it, or you can start telling you to help them submit to journals. And then you will get to a point that, okay, you will start working on peer review. Like after the journals have reviewed your work, they send it back to you. You look at the review as comments, and you make necessary corrections. And this is the component of research. The thinking process, the actual work, field work, peer review, and publication. So meet people, the closest people to you. Medical students are the luckiest people in the world. But most of us don't know, because we don't know this. When you now know the opportunities you have around you, will be, it will be the time that, okay, you are no longer starting for most people. Because if a graduate has, this level of scholarly people around them, he will give the opportunity to understand. But as students, and it's not easy to be a student actually. You guys better to know a lot of things. You guys better to know, little of all the specialties. It's not easy. It's not easy. You guys are busy. You have a lot of work to do. You are every day. You are on that space trying to get this information and trying to get for exams and these courses. But give it all this. Locate one or two other spaces doing research, speak to them, be their research assistant. You will learn a lot of them. Then after that, when you need their research with message and sort of link up with them, then you can continue to research them. And that will kickstart your research career.
Thank you so much, sir. A question from my side also. Would you advise us doing on streamline specialty, like fringe specialty that we have to streamline our line of focus? Our research, moving like that. Would you advise that? Okay.
Like I said before, what I said I was the element of AAX. And it is like that when I said thank you for like now. Then I was listening to your maintenance. And when I said me, was then when I so I now want to check. It says okay, yes, you think you grab your mind and you want to do the SAT, you want to do the you want to do this is like as I did. So I will now become interested now. So all the assumptions you have before you become a resident, that you are still a student, you get to them because they don't know the USMLE like them. That you are a resident or you are an attending. They know them. Say I am an emo. Yes now. So we are applying them to residents. We are applying to them. Because you don't understand where your emo is. You get so they don't see you as someone who is trying already. They see you as remedial themselves who have not yet differentiated into their specialties. For me now, once I start residency, they don't expect me to be doing ENT research again or doing philosophy research again. You get or if you are still applying, even if it's herbal medicine research, do it. If it is pharmaceutical science research, do it. Anything that benefits healthcare, do it. public health research, shook your eyes, shook your head there. Anything you can do, just do it. Do you get? So they will rate you on the experience you had, not on the output of the research. They don't expect you to start doing randomized control trial on the effect of one medication on the injection fraction. You are not a cardiologist, even though you want to be, but you are still a student. So if you do neurosurgery research, they will believe that you did it when, as part of your neurosurgery clerkship. So they know you are now going to, so specialize now. So whatever you can do, even if it's OBGYN research that is available and you are going to internal medicine, put your head there, put it on your CV.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So
Sorry,
before
I'm so sorry.
Put it. Do you get? But if it's not from a minister of health, a governor, don't go and put one letter of recommendation from a pastor, or from an imam, or from your mentor who studied fine arts. Eh? If your mentor is not minister of health, is not governor, is not directly, a policy maker in terms of healthcare, don't put it up. You get? But you can put letter of recommendation from someone in neurosurgery for internal medicine, but don't let it be so many, maybe one. And you do that if you have checked that letter of recommendation and you just know, you feel like, no, this person has described you as, some letter of recommendation will say, I've been training students for 20 years, but this is the best student I've ever trained. You can't, if that letter of recommendation is coming from a Yoruba education person who trained you, you may want to use that letter because of the content. That content is too strong. Do you get? So those are the things you will look at if you want to use letter, but at least one in your specialty of interest.
all right, thank you so much. So before asking the last second to the last question, I want to ask this, what helped your application stand out? Like, what was the, reflecting on your journey, sir, your own personal journey, what was the thing that stood out for you the most, that you were like, oh, thank God I did this while I was in medical field, I mean, while I was in school?
Okay.
What's
What I would say stood out for me the most is God. And why I would say that is for giving me the right set of people to work with. Do you get? That was what stood out for me. Because
mm,
without that, I will not be here. So, sort of telling you the importance of working with people and committing what your journey into the hands of God. If you are whoever you are, whatever your religion is, this thing requires prayer. You need to pray. Shaduaki, you
mm,
need to pray because it's not a is not a meritocracy. You can say something that someone likes, and because of that, you are matched. And the people may be considering you for a match. That, oh, this guy is doing well, you get, and that guy says something, and that something puts everybody off, and they are like, no. this guy does not represent, this guy is a good match for our program, but does not represent the core value of this program. Look at what he said. Because what they do is, at the end of your interview, when they are doing the meeting to select people, to rank people, because they will rank everybody that they interview, they will project your picture, you know. Okay, I'm not presenting with my main account here. On my okay, my picture is not here, but on that flyer you see my picture. That picture they will project it on a big screen. Everybody will say, "Oh, see this guy that was laughing too much. This guy is not a serious guy." Do you get? So, but that laughter, someone could look at that laughter and say, "Ah, see this guy. He has such a great personality. He's so warm. Look at the way he smiles." But someone, look at how God can turn it around. But someone can look at that laughter and say, "Ah, this guy, we don't want people who are not serious in this our program. We can't trust our patient with this guy who does not seem focused." May not be because there is one attribute that they want: your response to criticism. They may feel like, this guy, if you criticize this guy will feel like he knows too much, he knows more than us. And this guy, so there's an SR from Nigeria. I heard that story from surgery who did not match because they asked the person that interviewed the guy is a resident there too, and this guy is an SR there. Do you get? So, and the residents, they are like similar level. And the resident was asking this guy, and this guy was saying, "I do a lot of appendectomy, I do a lot of angiography." In the US, the training is more structured. Before they can give you knife to do angiography, you will have done 50 in Nigeria before they can give you knife to do one there, because the training is structured. They want you to go through the whole process before you do it, because there's a lot of lawsuits there. And the guy is like, even me interviewing you to come and be my intern, I've not done 20 appendectomies, and you say you have done 50. You'll be like, this guy is not trainable. Do you get? So that's how to do it. So if they ask you, just present it that, okay, I was privileged to be exposed to a lot of procedures, which has helped sharpen my skills, and I hope to continue to learn more when I get to residency in terms of how it is done in the United States, especially with the availability of cutting edge technology. And I know that I have a lot to learn, and I'm excited to come in and continue my training in the United States. That is a way to say it. So all these things, it depends on prayer. Whatever you do, that this person like someone else may do it, and the person may not match because of that. So pray and community. During the interview, your accent matters. Your accent matters. For example, if you're able to speak Queen's English, someone else may love it, but it will not guarantee you the match, because in fact there are thousands and thousands of people who speak better English than you. People are applying from Canada, people are applying from Australia, people are applying from the UK. So that's just
Uh,
it. And
Thank you. Okay.
people are applying from India. There is no how bad your accent can be. There are some it will be clearer than some accents. Do you get? So, but those people still match. So, what matters is your personality, your application, but your accent can also help you. Someone who loves the way you speak may recommend you, may talk to the program about your accent. Say, this guy speaks well, but there is a high chance that someone will say, that accent, there are several people who speak well here. Okay, all right.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So the last question, because you really stayed with us and we really value the time you spent with us. Thank you so much, sir. The last question is, what is one major myth or misconception about the USMLE process that you would like to debunk for our audience today, sir?
Yeah, that the USMLE is not doable, or that the match process is unattainable. No. Or that the match process is for top guys in the class. No. Do you get? The match
Yes,
process
sir.
is for the toppers. No. The match process is for people who have a lot of money, to deposit, upfront. No. The USMLE can be done as gently, slowly, and over a number of years.
Sir, sorry for
Yes.
interjecting you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, how you were able to gather the money for the registration, everything? Like,
Ah,
was it the house officer's money or something? All those 300,000 before converting it to dollar, is a lot. So how were you able to? What were you doing at that time? You said you were combining different work.
this
Then
man,
yes,
this,
but that
this
might not be enough.
man,
So
come
I
to
will
my
need to
DM.
know. Okay. Okay, sir. All right, sir.
Yeah, but yeah, so what you can do is, we know the country with the way everything is now, the salary is not enough to do this. But what you can do is you can look at non-clinical jobs. Do you get non-clinical jobs? Let me just chip in. One of the things I did was that there was someone I met online. Do you get? So who was looking at creating medical content. The person in the US makes medical materials for medical students, like flashcards, for example, EKG is ECG flashcards. Do you get? So was looking for a doctor who can create flashcards, maybe simple flashcards to help to maybe recognize common ECG, to start the point, hypokalemia, hyperkalemia, all those things. So I was opportune to get that. It also helped. Do you get? Because you are going to be paid in dollars, and it helped. So if you can, venture into non-clinical jobs, it's okay. I know a friend of mine who finished from dentistry, did not go clinical, went non-clinical. Do you get? So, in the non-clinical job, he doesn't get paid in naira now. And with the salary he's on, he's able to apply for this. If he was doing MBBS and he wants to apply, he'll be able to apply. So there are other ways that the fact that you are a doctor does not mean you must that you cannot earn, you know, through other means. Do you understand? Just try to look for ways that you can also earn through non-clinical ways and supplement. Then family, friends, if you see my post after the match, it's a community project. It's a function of me, it's a function of you, it's a function of everyone. It's a function of the people praying for you, people here, other people, family, people who will say, oh, I see that you are trying to apply for this, take this. Do you know? Someone messaged me that, oh, a friend told me, it's just a friend that I met twice. Used to see my status, I used to see his status too. He's not even a doctor. He just messaged me one day that a friend said you have passed step one, and when you are writing your step two, let me know. And I message this person, send me $300. Do you get? So those are the ways. Just just someone I had met just twice. Just felt like maybe the friend told him that, oh, this guy wants to write USMLE, he has passed the one, this guy is trying to do it, you get. So contributed to the process, to the journey. So there are many miracles like that that we will share for the time we are writing our autobiography, so that you don't get to read it before it's published. Just on a lighter mood, yeah. On a lighter mood.
All right. Thank you so much. Like, we really appreciate this session. Like, we've learned a lot. I believe my colleagues also, they've learned a lot. You people, you really, you guys, you people are wonderful. I don't want to say you guys because you're my my
No, no.
sister.
The thing is, you get used to it. You get used to dropping sir and ma. One of the things you will get used to is not to tell people sir, not to tell people ma. They had to coach me not to say sir to your interviewer, so I understand. So,
Oh
not to say
wow.
thank you, sir, or your program director. My program director messaged me, during the course of this meeting now. You know, it is thank you, Dr. Sharma, not thank you, sir. Yes.
Wow, I just learned a new thing today.
So,
Wow, that's that.
in this part of the world, we love a lot of seniority
Yeah.
and respect. You need to drop it.
so
All right.
so thank you, Dr. Ishmaila. Am I right, sir?
Yeah. You are very correct.
So we really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing valuable experiences and advice. Your honest insight and has really inspired us. We really appreciate that. God bless you, sir. So Miss Amarachi, do you have anything to
I
tell us?
mean, like, I think like this has been 2 hours of pure undiluted information, and I am so
Seriously,
grateful for the
seriously.
to Dr. Jawetz and
Ishmael,
Dr.
yeah,
Abdulkarim
yeah,
for
yes, yes.
sharing their time
Sir,
with
sir,
us
sir, I
and
want to
for
ask a question. The Jawet is coming from where, sir?
Ah, my friend gave me that name when we were in
Eh,
school.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh, wow, that's good. I'm
yeah.
also Dr. Mitch, so by the time we match,
Are you? I'm looking for Doctor Kasong and Stephen, or Doctor
my
Mimi
own
and
doctor,
Kabi,
never doctor, sir.
so that you will tell me the pathophysiology of adenoma.
Thank you, sir. Our own doctor is on the doctor on the low key yet.
Eh, so what doctor are you?
yeah.
Are you Doctor Kasong, so that you can tell us?
So it's doctor in vivo, doctor in utero.
If you
Yeah.
are
Thank you, sir.
Doctor Bailey, then that's nice now.
All right.
Thank
So
you, sir.
I just quickly want to, because
Who
I
said
really want.
doctor in training? This person you are.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you,
thank,
Yeah.
thank
everyone.
you, sir.
It's a
Thank you
privilege
so
to be
much.
here.
We really
Thank
enjoy your
you.
session, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if Mr. President is here to give us the closing speech. He has been posting on his status since about stuff
Oh,
and acquisition of stuff. Mr. President here, our incoming doctor, Mr.
oh,
President here. All right, I don't think Mr. President is here, so I'll just quickly wrap
Who,
this
who
up.
is the president now?
Miracle or Igbe 001 on the
Uh,
computer.
so because I knew he was the president, but I thought maybe he has handed over. Okay, he's my aburo. We are from the same
Wow,
state.
wow,
Yeah, he's my
wow, wow,
aburo
wow.
from the same
That's
state.
okay. That's
Okay
okay.
now. So
Yes, sir.
you guys are doing very great. I see your content online. I see the way you are trying to network with the alumni, the way you are bringing, you are holding yourselves. Please continue to do that, and continue to be supportive to yourselves in medical school. It is always sweeter and better if everyone wins. Do you get? So carry yourselves along. Don't follow bad footsteps. Don't hold things from yourself. Don't don't always want to be that guy at the top. The funny thing is that that person who is destined to be at the top will always be there, irrespective of whatever you do. So please always be that person who does things for the collective, for the benefit of the collective, not for your own benefit alone. Because he has a way of coming back to you. It may not be, you may not know it, but those favors has a way of coming back to you. If you help people, you receive favor, you receive help. And when you need help, God will raise help for you. So continue to help yourselves, continue to motivate yourself. And I know the sky is your limit. I look forward to seeing everyone on the other side. And for people who want to, who see themselves staying in Nigeria, you will not be a second-rate doctor being in Nigeria. You may have other plans, you may have other, ambition that doesn't require you to leave Nigeria. The richest Nigerian doctor is not out of this country. Do you get? The richest doctor who is Nigerian is not out of the country. So there are ways that you can succeed in life. So make it a personal journey. Make it a journey, a competition against your yesterday, the Jawetz of yesterday and the Jawetz of today, not Jawetz versus do with your life. I always say it. People have different places they are coming from. Some people, by the virtue of who gave birth to them, they are already you are running 100 meters, they are already at 50 meters. By the virtue of where they were born and who gave birth to them. But you, an agbe, I call people agbe.
My period of time and like always help guide me through. Thank you. So other people from other students from our former presidents, I saw Dr. Say back this way as well. Thank you so much. A big shout out to my secretary, Ron She has been really efficient, and it's because of the hard work that she puts in that we are able to do this thing. So thank you very much, everybody. We are so really to ask questions. We are so grateful all the way from Futa Alumni Relations. From Dr. Ashalu, I see you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yes, that's everything. We're working on the recording. We have the recording. We'll get consent from our speakers, and once they give us go ahead, we'll definitely publish the recordings available. Ah, Dr. Kinte. Dr. Kinte, yeah, that's our 43rd president. Yeah, so thank you very much, everybody, and do have a lovely rest of the weekend. Good night.
Good night. Thank you for staying with us to the end.